Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and this is the second sneak peek for what is building up to be a pretty big July-August update. It's not just going to be a Summer Days mid-month update with Silk and Quicksilver uniforms. We are getting at least 3 additional uniforms with possibly much more to come. So this update already, in just 2 sneak peeks, has nailed upgrades for 5 existing characters that all need it to varying degrees. So this is excellent. This is a great time to be a Marvel fan, especially if you are a Marvel fan of the lesser popular characters. So what do we have here in this sneak peek? Well, we're greeted by this sort of workroom. We see that familiar red toolbox, sort of Tony Stark-ish. You see some shapes, some triangles that sort of give you some arc reactor vibes, and then you see hollow projections of 3 different characters in 2 different poses. And those characters, if you miss them, are Rescue, HULKBUSTER, and War Machine. Shout out to Teddy Two Gloves for that one. So this is very, very exciting. And then it says next time baby, which is actually a reference to the original Iron Man, RIP Terrence Howard, and his role as Rhodey, James Rhodey, and it references that. So there's actually a lot to unpack in this sneak peek. I'm gonna go through and sort of do everything step by step by step. So let's go take a look first at what it says on the forums. So on the forums it says Stark Industries 3099, so we're going into the future for this one, has created new suits using future technology. When we were talking about time travel, future, past, I start to get a little bit of Kang on my mind, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's just me. There's no Kang hints here. That's just me. Agents, check out the new suits made for his closest future allies. Rhodey. HULKBUSTER's not technically an ally. HULKBUSTER's just a suit that he goes into, but Rescue is Pepper Potts. And his latest weapon made to fight colossal enemies. So that would be, the latest weapon would be HULKBUSTER, because he fights colossal enemies like Hulk with the HULKBUSTER. And then of course these would be for, this is the reference to Rhodey and Pepper. Armor War upgrade. So this is really cool because we've already seen Marvel tease the Disney Plus show Armor Wars, but we're getting this update way in advance. Now, there's not going to be, it's not like these are the looks that Don Cheadle as you know, War Machine and those characters are going to see in that show, but it's possible that these characters could essentially double dip in the future. Again, we don't know how long it's going to be until Armor Wars comes out, but it's cool that they're getting this upgrade ahead of time, because otherwise, if you had asked me, when is War Machine getting an upgrade, I would have been like, never. No. I would have been like, Armor Wars, whenever that comes out, 2025, right? So it's really nice that these characters are getting something before then. I really appreciate that. The year 3099 is more dangerous than ever. In order to protect its citizens, these armored warriors need to be upgraded with new gear. So again, there's this threat, there's this lurking supervillain presence. They mentioned it in the previous sneak peek that they have to fight villains, but there's no villains yet. These are all heroes. And sure, Enchantress is a villain in the sense that she's one of the Summer Days uniforms that will be back on sale. I really don't think that they're going to mention a year-old uniform in a sneak peek, so I kind of feel like there's something else. And to sort of further that feeling and that skepticism that there's something else, if you see in the sneak peek, there is definitely something else, because there's this weird, it's not weird, we just don't know what it is. In the background, there are these lines, but the lines aren't uniform because some of the lines look like just potentially sticks, right? But then this is not a stick, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't think there's a word. I don't think there's something written back here, because I don't think there's any word that would have this many lines and still be an actual word. But at the same time, I don't know. It's suspicious. It's definitely suspicious. Over on Twitter, we get a little bit more information. The year 3099 is more dangerous than ever. In order to protect its citizens, these armored warriors are needing an upgrade. Actually, there is not more information here. This is literally a copy paste from the forums. However, I will now show you guys the next time baby that we see at the end there. This is not going to be, or not necessarily, a reference to any future character or future uniform, but rather this scene in Iron Man from 2008. Again, for those of you that don't remember or don't know because you didn't watch the original, the very first entry in the MCU timeline, technically, well, maybe not technically the very first, but anyways, the very first, the officially first one, Iron Man 2008. This was the original War Machine. Before Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard was the original War Machine. And in the first movie, he actually doesn't get to do any war machining. He doesn't get to do any fighting. It's only until Iron Man 2 where they fight against Whiplash and things like that. But of course, by then, Terrence Howard, the actor, had been replaced by Don Cheadle, who we now know as War Machine. He's been in Infinity War, Endgame, etc. So he says, damn. And then he looks over at the suit of armor. And he says, next time, baby. He whispers it. He says, next time, baby. The person who uploaded this added in some Arrested Development hilarious music here. But yeah, he basically says, next time, baby. And that's it. And that was sort of the Easter egg within the movie. This was not, I don't believe this was a mid-credit scene. This was like just part of the movie. Maybe this was a mid-credit scene. I don't know. Anyways, I can't remember. But yeah, this is in the movie. And it's basically referencing the fact that he would become War Machine and actually suit up. But of course, it wouldn't be Terrence Howard because he asked for too much money. So then we got Don Cheadle, who's an amazing actor. So for whatever reason, the sneak peek team felt a bit petty. They woke up and chose violence, essentially. And they decided to roast Terrence Howard for being a goon and not being able to reprise his role. Not a goon, but just being a goofy dude. And not being able to reprise his role as James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka War Machine. So this is pretty dope. Also, I completely dropped the ball. I couldn't really see. I was on the toilet on my phone at 11 p.m. when this update dropped, when this sneak peek dropped, and I was like, is that Spider-Man? Like, it looks like Spider-Man, but maybe it's not Spider-Man 3099. Maybe it's Miguel O'Hara. Maybe it's Spider-Man 2099. You know, so I said Hulkbuster, War Machine, and who? Spidey 2099. And then a billion of you, literally a billion, I'm not exaggerating, corrected me that it's Rescue. So thank you for correcting me. Danny Koo also corrected everyone who thought it wasn't Rescue and said 3099 series for War Machine, Hulkbuster, and Rescue. So because these are 3099 uniforms, we know that these uniforms are going to be unique. These are not uniforms that you're going to find in the comics, in any other media. These are going to be brand new uniforms. And if you actually go ahead and look a little bit more closely, you can see that they've been fitted with some pretty cool new gear. So Rescue honestly looks like a spider character, which is fine. That's pretty cool. She's got these new back wings like Iron Man does in Infinity War. So that's kind of a nice homage there. War Machine, sorry, not War Machine, Hulkbuster appears to have some sort of plasma or like force energy shield on his arm there, which is brand new as well. And you can see him punching. And then War Machine has these really cool sort of add-ons. He's got this shoulder thing, and he's got this wrist thing as well. I don't know if this is like a missile launcher or whatever. But then on top of that, he's got a drill. My man's got a literal drill for an arm. So that is going to be dope. And if you can see here, because you get a bit of a zoom in, he looks very bulky. Which, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer my robots to look bulky. You know, none of this like sleek, thin, you know, sort of human-like. I want my robots to look, I want Transformers, basically. Okay, I grew up watching Transformers, so we're trying to get something big and huge. And this reminds a lot of people, I would think, of Endgame War Machine. Endgame War Machine looked really, really cool. People were actually asking for Endgame War Machine back in the day after we had gotten this one. So not after we had gotten this one, before. So we got the Infinity War Machine, which looks really cool, to be honest. And then people wanted the like super bulked up endgame one. We ended up getting this one, not the super bulked up version. This one's still pretty cool. He's got the back attachment with the minigun. He's got 900 confirmed kills or whatever that is there. This is really cool. Don't get me wrong. This is a cool uniform as far as the looks go. But yeah, this wasn't the super bulked up one that Rocket Raccoon is standing on the shoulder of in Endgame when they're getting ready for that final battle with Thanos' army that has landed from the ship, from the Serenity ship. Serenity ship? Not Serenity. That's Firefly. You know what I'm talking about. Sanctuary. Anywho, however, despite the aesthetics, this uniform was not good. It wasn't good for War Machine. It didn't really move the needle for him. It didn't really do much for him. He was never really in the meta. So despite having a plethora of uniforms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 uniforms to his name, War Machine has not once been in the meta. War Machine has not even once sniffed the meta. So again, personally, I'm very excited for War Machine. I'm also very excited for HULKBUSTER, despite the fact that he hasn't gotten as many looks. He's only gotten 2 uniforms. I am also excited for him to finally potentially sniff the meta. And Rescue, again, Rescue was sort of overshadowed because she came out, of course, with Endgame with all of those characters like Endgame Thor, Endgame Cap, right? At the time of Tier 3s coming out, she couldn't compete, right? 2018, she could not compete. She was a great Tier 2 character, but she's also paywall. So I'm excited to see her get a rework. She's got a pretty interesting kit. She has also the possibility of being a much better support unit. She has healing. She has an interesting defensive leadership. So she actually has a lot of interesting tech that could be used to enhance her abilities, either for herself or for the team, to make her a bigger threat in the game. Also, War Machine has a good leadership. It's not, anything too crazy, but it is a 30% physical attack leadership for all allies. If these characters are going to get Tier 3 or Transcended, and to be honest with you, if I had to guess, I would guess War Machine, HULKBUSTER, and Rescue make a perfect trio for Transcendence, meaning we still don't know who the Tier 3 is, if you're going by my speculation. But it's possible that maybe they're going to give War Machine the Tier 3, since War Machine is, quite a bit more popular than either Pepper Potts Rescue or HULKBUSTER, who's not actually a real person. It's just a suit. It's just an animate suit of armor. But yeah, regardless of which one it is, they have to get something, right? They're not going to be advertised on this level. Silk already has Transcendence. Quicksilver already has Tier 3. We don't have to worry about those two. So these 3 definitely got to get something, right? So either Tier 3 or Transcendence, this will be a brand new leadership that we can use. Sure, it's not any better than Hulk's leadership. It's not any better than Winter Soldier's leadership or Elsa's leadership, but it does give you a bit of flexibility in the sense that he's a physical blast type character, which are very rare. And there's also the possibility that they're going to upgrade this leadership to make it better. And you can say the exact same thing about HULKBUSTER, who has a much more flexible leadership. It's lower. It's a 24% all attack leadership, but it is more flexible. So we'll have to wait and see how these shake out, but I'm very excited for these 3 to be getting reworks. Again, love to see older characters who have been forgotten in a way getting reinvigorated and sort of brought to speed, even if they're not going to be super meta, right? Just so that you can go ahead and play with whoever you want, and you can do endgame content on some level with your favorite Marvel character, right? We don't want the same 30, 40 characters always being meta. We do want to see a shakeup. So hopefully we're going to get a robotic shakeup here. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of an Armor War update. If these 3 characters are getting Transcendence, then who would the Tier 3 be? Is it going to be Ultron? Is it going to be someone else entirely? I have no idea. We've seen some pretty interesting speculation on that, but I'll leave it up to you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.